Do an introduction here, okay? Okay, now I'm sitting here in the hotel foyer on June 6, 2009, and I have three survivors from HMS Swift who've served with my father, Herbert George Neves. And moving from left to right, we've got David Cockrell, able seaman David, yeah. And we have Bill Thorpe,
yeah.
able seaman Bill.
Able seaman.
And there's the third character here is Harry Card. Card is able seaman.
Man by nature.
Able seaman Harry?
No, ordinary seaman.
Ordinary seaman. What's the difference between an ordinary seaman?
Well, the difference is that when you first join, you are an ordinary seaman.
Oh.
And then after a few tasks
Yeah.
and things, you get promoted up to able seaman.
So that means...
I was boy seaman first of all.
Right.
And then the next rank up is an ordinary seaman, which I was then.
Okay.
But then I have to sit other exams to become an AB.
So you had to, my father outrank you, is that what you're saying?
That's right, yeah.
So you had to salute him? So...
No,
No,
No, it's
The only way I
okay.
salute your father, I bend over.
I was going to say you can salute me when you see me because I'll be acting in his
But your
behalf.
dad was an OD, wasn't he?
Eh?
Your dad was an OD.
Able seaman,
No, he couldn't have been.
was he?
No.
Well, that's
If he'd come from Collingwood and went on the Swift,
yeah.
he was an ordinary seaman.
Ordinary seaman. Oh, well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I've always said he was an able seaman, but unfortunately...
He finished his time as an AB seaman,
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
But
That's
on the
probably
Swift,
what...
he could have only been...
an OD.
Because it shows on his record on the top, the able seaman.
That's
yeah.
right,
Yeah,
would do.
yeah,
Well,
right.
Harry is an able seaman.
Yeah, right.
But
mhm.
we're talking about the Swift.
Okay, right. Now let's move on to the Swift. My father came out of Collingwood and went straight onto the Swift. You three guys were the same? Yeah?
no,
No?
No.
No?
no.
No.
I myself and one other mate, shipmate,
Yeah.
came from Plymouth.
Plymouth.
From Devonport,
Uh-huh.
which is known as Guz.
Right,
It's Devonport Barracks.
right.
Done the training across the other side of the river,
Yeah,
HMS Raleigh,
yeah,
then was transferred to HMS Drake,
right.
and then from there I was put on a ship before
Yeah.
the Swift,
Right.
and then after that was sunk,
Uh-huh.
I was then transferred onto the Swift.
Right. From what I read of the Swift, she came straight out. She had a few months of trialling. Is that right?
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
sorting out all the things, and then you went on to the Russian convoy. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
George, I'll just mention my father as George. So he said that it was very cold, bitterly cold. The seas were very rough, and that there was worst part of his life was going on the Russian convoys going up there. He suffered a fair bit from cold, frostbite, and whatever. I believe there was you broke away from on one of the convoys to go and chase the Shan horse. Is that right?
No,
No.
no, we didn't have any part in it.
Oh, okay.
At all, but
Right.
our flotilla did. The 23rd Destroyer Flotilla
Yeah.
was one of the leading destroyer flotillas to chase the Shan.
All right.
Swift was, at the time, I think, we were doing a boiler clean.
He was having a boiler clean at Scupper Flow.
Oh, okay. Well, so you missed the excitement part.
We
Huh?
missed it. The only part we took of the Charles was when the Fleet Air Arm raided Charles.
Right,
We,
yeah.
did
Oh,
the
yeah.
we were the covering force for the Fleet Air Arm.
That was a turf.
That was a turpin.
Turpits, beg your pardon.
Right. Now, during the convoys, did you guys get attacked by German aeroplanes?
Got attacked by everything.
Yeah.
Bill can tell you more about that.
Yeah, Bill?
Well, no, well, we were attacked by a plane, of course,
Yeah, yeah.
but we also were attacked by U-boat,
Oh, right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
sending out torpedoes.
Now, I did read a part, and one of the guys who sent me something about a torpedo just missing the Swift somewhere.
That's right.
That
Was that-
fired, a U-boat fired it. It was called a gnat
Yeah,
torpedo.
yeah, right.
It honed into our engine noise.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
And so when the ASDIC picked it up, that
Yeah.
we had a torpedo coming straight for us,
Yeah.
the skipper would turn head on towards it,
Yeah,
full speed ahead.
yeah,
When we got into a certain range, we fired depth charges over the side.
right.
The noise of that took the
The homing device
homing
from the
device
Right.
away from the engine to the depth charge noise.
Right.
And we, on the starboard side, where we just dropped the depth charges, looked over the side, see the torpedo.
You saw it go by, huh?
Eh?
So if that had hit the Swift, you guys probably would have been.
Well, we wouldn't have been.
We wouldn't be here today, obviously.
you,
Maybe
no.
not. No, no. It was because that was the ocean was fairly freezing cold. Is that right? Or and you wouldn't
yeah.
survive too long. In it?
Yeah. We did get a call out one time. A destroyer in front of us on convoy had a signal that a man was overboard, went overboard.
Yeah.
And we was asked, three volunteers, to go in after him.
Yeah.
They give you a line, but you're stupid, you don't know.
Yeah.
And three of us stood there like idiots, waiting to go in.
Yeah.
Didn't pick the bloke up. We said to the officer that watched afterwards, why three of us? He said, well, very likely if it was one, you wouldn't have survived.
Yeah.
But one out of the three of you would have. But stupid to me, if a bloke's gone over the side, you don't want to send other people in after him, do you?
No, not really. No. Yeah. So how did you spot the torpedo coming to actually avoid it? Someone
As it.
as you heard it coming towards you.
Anti-submarine, I think they call it anti-submarine. It's
Yeah.
like a ping.
Right. Yeah.
It's sent out, you've probably seen the films where you hear
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
ping,
Yeah.
bonk. Well, the bonk is where it hits the
echo.
and the echo coming back.
So it was pretty quick thinking on the captain's behalf
Oh,
to.
yeah, very quick,
yeah.
very quick.
See, we already had training.
Uh-huh.
Before I joined the Swift,
Yeah.
I had to go to Brighton, St Dunstan's in Brighton,
Yeah.
along with other torpedomen, and we had a course about these net torpedoes.
Right. Yeah.
And another thing was a depth charge that they was going to fire from the torpedo tube.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But the skipper was also up to scratch on that as well, wouldn't he be?
Yeah. The my father or George said that when you guys got up to Murmansk, he said you weren't allowed to go on shore. It was pretty
That's correct.
pretty depressing fact that you've been at sea so long and they still wouldn't let you on shore.
That's correct.
And the Russians weren't real helpful.
I think two people did go ashore.
Yeah.
I think Harry was one.
Did you get a
to collect the mail, wasn't it?
Collect them out. Also, the Black Prince went ashore. Some of them were
Yeah.
Black Prince, and they got fired upon. They did.
Yeah. Wow.
Going down through the high street.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
But that put the kibosh on anybody else going ashore. But we used to go ashore.
Now, moving on a little later in the, there was an attack on a submarine that the Swifters claimed to have sunk, or I would say in the record book it's
Yeah.
U981, I think it is. What happened on that morning? Aztec picked up the submarine, did it? Or
That was off the west coast of Ireland.
Yeah.
Off the west coast of Ireland.
On the 14th of April.
Right.
94.
so you're kind of just doing a patrol, and
Yeah.
Aztec picked up the
We
submarine.
picked it up. There was also, was it American?
It was an American chaser.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something chaser.
Yeah, because when I did a search on the internet, it says USS Swift sunk the. So that's why you've confirmed that it was.
HMS Swift, we sank
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But it had to be towed in, didn't
Yeah.
it? Or something.
yeah. What, the submarine?
We picked up survivors from it.
Oh yeah.
And the skipper of that became good friends with our skipper.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
How the bloody hell, you know, he's just blown up his men. Oh yeah, well done.
Probably
Well, that was a part of war. The fact that you
It's the same as the Aussies. Aussies
Yeah.
and
yeah.
the English with regards to camaraderie.
Well, you got to think that a lot of the Germans who were fighting were just fighting for their country under the belief that they were fighting for their country like you guys were fighting for the UK. What the hierarchy, they had no control over it like you had no
Well,
control
they're
over it.
different,
Yeah, yeah. Different kind.
No, they
So
shake hands.
the submarine actually went down and the survivors came up, or was it the sub come to the surface? Did it? Did you see the sub?
No, we didn't see the sub.
No. They just came up.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. How many survivors?
I don't know exactly, but I think you'll find in that book
Yeah.
that you're going to get hold of. there'd be survivors in there. I feel sure there is.
Right, yeah.
And they didn't verify the scene until after the war, did they?
No.
No, that was all kept quiet.
Yeah.
Moving on to D-Day, I did have some contact with the captain before he passed on, and he sent me a nice letter detailing what he said that happened on the morning of the 6th of June. Early in the morning, I think he called you all to deck, and he explained that what's happening that day, or it was either in the evening or sometime he called you all on deck, and he said the Lord's Prayer.
Well, twice he did that, didn't he, if you remember right?
Yeah.
He did it once and then it was postponed.
Right.
And I think that was on about June the 4th.
Yeah. We came back again.
We came back in and but the second time there was no going back. That was it.
Right. And we'll just start off with your memories, Harry, of the morning of June 6th. What were you doing?
Me, I was just keeping my head down and
You were
looking. I was a lookout. I was just a lookout on the bridge. All I had to do was spot any.
Well, what were you seeing on the 6th? What were you looking? What were you seeing on the 6th? Were you actually looking to shore or out the ocean for subs? Or,
When we was coming in, how can I say it? I was starboard lookout.
Yeah.
So I covered, shall we say, 90. The whole ship was 360 degrees. Can you imagine? My allocation was 90 degrees, which was forward to amidships.
Yeah.
That's the area I covered. I had to cover surface craft and aircraft,
Right.
and report to the bridge anything I see, and that was my job.
And how far off of Sword Beach was the Swift? Really visible to see the beach that was going on?
Quite. With the binoculars I've got, these chaps know that with the binoculars I've got, I can see up to about 20 miles.
Yeah, right.
So you could see everything plain.
You could see the fighting on the beach?
Yeah.
They weren't fighting then.
They weren't fighting then. We were going in, there was nothing on the beach.
Yeah.
There was ordinary, everyday people going up.
That explains the reason you didn't lose. I think only about 40 people were killed at the landing, from what I read about. Most of them were killed a little bit inland, a bit when they were actually confronted by the Germans.
Yeah.
Where different to Omaha, that they were actually had all the machine guns set up on the cliff space, and they were just slaughtering them. So move on to you, Bill. Bill, can you just tell me what your memories of that morning were?
That morning I was standby. I was what they call a first aid waller. Being a torpedoman, we weren't required to, but you stand by. I would be standing by the Y gun, hoping to help them. But basically, I was a first aid waller, carried the first aid stuff. Yeah. But as we was going in, that's when the Svenna caught it, torpedo. And the skipper asked permission to pick him up. He was denied it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was denied. He was told to maintain his position and carry on to.
But he stopped or slowed down enough for us to pick 80 Norwegian survivors out of water.
His actual words was, "I'm too much of a humanitarian." Yeah. And what he did, he eased down on the revs. He still kept moving. Yeah. But
slow.
So he didn't exactly just obey orders. He just kind of circumnavigated the actual order.
He didn't do himself much, Cole.
He disobeyed an order. That was the top and bottom.
He done it on the engines in such a manner that we drifted into them. And
did you throw over nets over the side and for the guys to climb up?
There were scrambling nets there because there was Frank Battram was down on the side of the net, heaving them in, and there was men on the upper deck taking them over there.
Yeah, my father said that he was near the landing nets, the nets pulling some people on board, so it explains it.
You had two men, one on this side of the scrambling net and one on that side. Yeah. When they caught the hands of whoever was in the water, they pulled them up, and who was on the upper deck pulled them in.
Yeah. We were throwing lines to them.
Yeah, right.
Pulling them in on a line.
Did you see the Sedna go up? Did you actually see it go up? You guys?
Better.
You
I didn't see it. Yeah. It was there.
Yeah. How far away were it from you?
Well, it wasn't all that far, was it?
No, just past that. What?
50 metres? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a torpedo from the E-boat that hit that?
From the E-boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two E-boats.
Two E-boats?
So they were both running out, there was a couple, there's quite a few
Yeah.
from these E-boats.
Right.
But they were running out of steam the time they're coming round.
Yeah.
And this weather was just unlucky to be away.
Yeah. All right. And
This is the first casualty.
right. Now, Dave, we'll move on to you. Can you just run through some of your memories of the morning of June 6th?
Well, I was I was a gunner on my gun.
Yeah. Y gun was one of the bigger guns. So,
4.7.
yeah, 4.7. Yeah.
Obviously, we were firing at the time. But
Was that on the front of the boat or the back?
on the rear?
On the rear, right.
And the stern, I should say. And the thing is, we weren't firing, of course, at that time, but we were stood by.
Right.
Of course, immediately there was a boom. You automatically go look.
Yeah, right.
You get all smoke, and all of a sudden there was sort of like a V in the water where the ship had broken in half.
Yeah, right.
And was going on. I suppose, being young at that time, the heart started going like this and thought, oh my God, this is something we hadn't expected, you know?
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Well, as Bill had said, we drifted in and we picked up these survivors.
Yeah.
And once we had picked up as many as we could, we were had to take up our station for firing, which we sort of turned the engines on and speeded away to get to our position.
So what were you
Then
actually?
we opened fire.
What were you actually firing at?
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
The
okay.
fact is that usually everything is done by control.
Right. Yeah.
In the cockpit, in the cabin of the gun, you've got a layer on one side and a trainer on the other, and there's an instrument in front of them with arrows on, and you've got handles.
Yeah. Right.
And from the place where they
HA director.
yeah, their red needle comes up, and you've got to
Uh-huh.
follow it. Well, whilst you're following that needle, the gun is either going up or sideways, or whichever way that you're doing.
Right.
And then when both of you, the trainer and the layer, start on target,
Yeah.
the captain of the gun fires it.
Right.
Fire. And that's it.
So were you getting directions by radio from the
That's
shore?
right, there's a control
Yeah.
room, see? And they've got all the instruments down there to know where, well, they got the plot to start with, which the skipper would have been given in a sealed envelope to come over with targets in there, and the directions and elevations and all that sort of thing. And that would be passed to the control room, which they would be doing for the guns, you see. And we didn't know exactly what we were firing at, but we were just firing. And once we fired, the shell case with the cordite case spring out the back, and the other people that were on there would be putting another one in the tray and ramming it up home.
So you were enclosed in that in where the gun carriage was. So you wouldn't have seen too much going on the beach.
Not
That
at the time, but when we, in the beginning, we were just all stood out around about.
Were you aware of the historic moment that was being created? That this is going to be really history. It's going to be talked about for years.
No, I didn't think anything.
It was like Napoleon. Just
the fact that it seemed to be another job.
Yeah.
I think I could give you a bit more information with regards to the job of everything comes from what we call the HA director, the director on the bridge, which is on the bridge.
Yeah.
Now, in there you've got a gunnery officer.
Yeah.
He sits in the middle and he's got a layer and trainer, which he's fed information from the TS.
That's right.
Comes up from the bows of the ship where all the navigation is, the radar, ASDICs and all that sort of thing. It's all channeled into that. That is then fed to the skipper from the to the HA director, and then from the HA director comes down to the skipper, and the fella in the HA director, he says all guns to bear.
That's right.
And then the skipper says, commence, 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 and away they go.
Right, okay.
Now, but what they do, the first shells they do fire was a special type of shell. It was
I've got a plunger in it.
a graze, like a graze fuse, what we call a graze fuse. And as soon as it comes out of the gun, it's meant for aircraft. If it passed through, thank you, Michael.
It's all right.
If it comes through, passes through a sheet of newspaper, if it explodes, it's going through the fabric of an aircraft.
Right.
Well, they fired those shells onto the beach, and the idea was, as soon as it touched, it cleared, and the explosion went sideways.
Shrapnel type stuff, huh?
Well, no, concussion from
Oh, okay, yeah.
the expansion of the gases,
Oh, okay.
and that cleared the beaches.
Oh, okay.
The mines and what have you, instead of making holes, which when the troops come in, they were falling in. And that was why you see, when you see these films with the sides of the buildings all caved in,
Yeah.
and the main structures of the buildings
Oh,
staying.
yeah, okay.
I don't know if that explains it.
Yeah, yeah, that does, and we'll be able to study this video in time and, you know, get a bit more of a picture. But
Yeah.
okay, let's move forward a little bit to, you know, after the D-Day, you guys were doing patrols going out protecting the fleet from the E-boats which were coming out of Le Havre, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Did you actually do any contact, kill any of those at all? Yeah.
We had several encounters, but they were too slippery for us.
Right, okay, yeah. Right.
We did. We used to go out there. I got a list of all the ships that took part in that.
Yeah.
There's 5,000 ships in all.
Oh, yes, I see the amount of it.
5,700
Yeah. Yeah. Now, just move forward a little bit more to the morning of the 24th of June, 1944. Can you just relate to what you were doing prior to, you were just coming in after a patrol? Can you just run through what your thoughts were on that morning and what you can remember?
Well, when we come in, well, we've been on action stations best part of the night, haven't we?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And
And then,
the skipper relaxed action station.
and then we revert, as soon as we come in, we revert to what we call defence stations, which is 4 on, 4 off, 4 on, 4 off. But they split the bombardment thing. Instead of 4 guns, we only have 2 guns. So it's, I think it's X and B and X, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yes. So the Y gun is usually, which is on the lower deck, and X gun is raised on the plinth. And those 2 guns carried on the bombardment
Right.
for the rest of the day. So we piped hands to breakfast. Pipe was hands to breakfast. So that's all the watchmen, like the Special Sea Dutyman, which Bill was, they take up their positions, and all the watch that's got to go on from 8 till 12, you can realise it's about 7:30 in the morning. We've got to go and watch at 8 o'clock. So we're down below getting our breakfast, washing, having a bit of a swoosh and washing, and getting ready to go and wash at 8 o'clock. We're shaping up to come in. We were going to come in alongside I think it was a Savage.
No, it was a scourge.
Well,
It was a scourge.
I know it was an S-boat, put it that way to you.
Yeah, right, okay.
Because we were
We
going
were going to take their ammunition off,
Yeah.
and she was going back to Portsmouth to re-ammunition. We were going to use their ammunition,
Right.
because we would want that low, but we was low enough. And the crew, like watchmen, as I was coming along the gangway with about a dozen others, first and foremost, you felt like a shudder go through the ship.
Yeah.
You could understand me. And then it seemed to lift and drop. And next thing I knew, I was scrambling, amongst others, about women and children first. Harry Card first. I was trying to get out the door.
Yeah.
And when I got out, put my foot outside the door, there was water even there then.
Right. Was the ship in actually two pieces then at that stage?
It was bending.
Yeah, bending. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Because the bottom got blew out, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the bottom got
And
blew
the
out.
number one boiler house.
Yeah.
And the boiler, and that's what was a lot of the explosion was doing, is when the hot water, when the cold water hit the boilers.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So you were straight over the side on
No, well, what we did, we got up onto the deck, and I got up, I went up the forecastle ladder like this, up the forecastle ladder onto the deck, and just looked up to the skipper. He was on the bridge, and what I thought he was doing, he was getting some of the lads that the lookouts and whatever, he was putting them in the chart room, as far as I could see. And also getting some of the books and one thing and another. And that's all. And I kept looking up to the hurry up and abandon ship.
right.
And then he piped abandon ship and over the side I went.
Yeah. What, into the water or onto?
No, into the water and swam.
Yeah.
And I was picked up by a landing craft.
Right. That landing craft number.
Yeah.
Okay. You said you were involved with the doctor at some stage. Did you help the doctor, Dr. Young, who was on the?
No, I heard about that from the skipper afterwards,
Right,
where
okay.
he grabbed the rail.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Because my father says that he was helping him over the board onto some craft or something like that. Yeah. Okay. David, can you just run? Would you like to run through what your thoughts are? Is it not? Is it okay? Same thing. Yeah.
Same thing, we came in from this night patrol as well.
Yeah.
Harry said, action station was relaxed.
Yeah.
To go down and get some protection. But I went down and whilst the killing of the mess was brewing up, you see, I lay down one of the benches and I must have dozed off because the next thing I realised there was a huge whoop like that and the ship went this way, that way, every way you could.
Right.
And by the time I realised what it was, water was pouring in from everywhere.
Yeah.
Of course we were down below.
Yeah.
Rear mess up.
Right.
Well, everybody was scrambling to get up the gangway. The companionway, as we call it. And the fact is they were almost fighting each other to get up there.
Right.
Well, I was furthest away from that, right way back by the back of the ship.
Yeah.
And by that time, there were still crowds climbing up. By the time I would have got over there, I probably would have drowned because by that time the water was up to here on me. And I thought, oh God, David got something to go here somewhere. So I turned behind me and there was a little hatch behind me, no bigger than about 18 inches long and about a foot wide.
Yeah.
And this little hatch went into the tiller flat where there is a steering wheel in case the steering wheel, the one that operated from the bridge, in case that is disconnected, you had a huge wheel in the tiller flat where you could take over, but you had to have that hatch at the back to give commands and things like that. And I opened this hatch, put my head through, and like a cat, so once my head goes through, I'm going through. And I scrambled through, taking most of the skin off both my arms, but I got through. Opened the hatch up on the upper deck and climbed out.
Yeah.
By that time I turned around and the funnel was just disappearing.
Right.
And I set off a couple of carry floats and done no more than what Harry did.
Yeah.
Went over the side.
Right.
I swam as fast as I could towards the carry float, sat on there and watched the ship slowly go down. And I could hear people shouting and screaming. It sounded to me as though they were shouting for help, but I don't know.
Now, I believe from what I was reading, the captain actually went back on board after coming off. He went back on board.
Later,
Yes, he did.
he went back later. He was taken board. I don't know which ship he was taken aboard of, but once he got established there, he was taken back, and he went back to get some papers. Isn't it?
Right.
Harry.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I didn't realise, sorry.
Right.
Sorry, gents.
It's okay.
Right, let's go and
he did go back aboard to get the ship's log, didn't he?
That's right, to get
Yeah,
papers.
yeah. I read that in his report.
That's right, yeah.
And he went back on board, I think. There's a photograph in that book I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's the whaler, or you can see two.
Yeah. There's actually several shots of that with about 6 boats around it. So I was wondering whether that was separate photos, you know.
She only sunk in about
It was shallow water.
Yeah.
shallow water, about 8 fathoms she sank in.
Yeah.
And so the mast was visible.
Right. Yeah, I read that it took a bit of time that the captain did come back on board, got the papers and had a look around and then went back again. And then she went down.
Yeah.
So, very sad occasion. Did you lose any of your mates in that?
Yeah, that was 17 of them.
Yeah.
Everybody on board that ship was my mate,
Yeah.
shipmates.
Yeah, yeah.
And even though I didn't know them.
That's right.
Now-
And we didn't really know who they were. We all knew them as Bill or Ted or Jim or Scouts or something like that. Wasn't it? But we never knew them as
You
Bill
knew them by
Tucker or
face.
something like that.
I was telling Harry earlier that one of the stories my father told me was, George, that one of the sailors or somebody on board's wife had twin girls or something like that a couple of nights before. There was a telegram came,
Probably,
and he was one of the guys that was killed. And that upset my father.
yeah, which probably is a messmate.
Yeah.
Somebody he knew in the mess that received this.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
And probably the fellow was a lookout or a gunnery rating or something. He was part and parcel of the ship, and we were all shipmates, so he would be very, very close to the person.
Yeah. All right. Well, after that, Harry, you obviously survived because we're here today talking about it.
Yeah.
And you, David, David, I'd just like to take the time out to thank you for the correspondence you've been sending to me, the information you've been sending to me. And through you, I've met Harry, another great friendship I'll keep for the rest of my life and the rest of Harry's life, you know.
Well,
But,
it's through Captain Gower that Harry and Bill has met me.
yeah, right.
Because it was you met Captain Gower up in Portsmouth, didn't you?
I met Captain Gower quite a few times. I have over the period of time, because I come near, every time I come over, I pay homage to his brother.
Yeah.
His brother landed, was a captain on the tank corps, and his brother on the first day went ashore. When we was at Invergordon, the captain's brother, I helped the captain's brother on board ship when he had dinner with him. He had dinner with him the night before we sailed down.
Yeah. Well, we had a similar experience with my father, whose ship sank on the 24th here.
Yeah.
His brother was killed the next day in Naples.
Yeah.
On the 26th. So the family back home got some bad news, you know, because the survivors and not survivors, you know,
Much the same thing.
same thing, missing in action, or you know. So I was lucky to actually find his grave in Naples a few weeks ago, and we paid homage to that. I actually placed some of my father's ashes in my uncle's grave. But anyhow, Harry, I'd like to also take time. Thank you for spending this time this morning.
And I'll try and carry the banner for you, but I'll probably hang it in the toilet.
Yeah, right. Great. Okay.
Only Anna carried the banner, wasn't it?
Well,
It was only Anna that carried the banner, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not Sister Anne. It's probably, I think it's a bit of a joke between.
yeah, him and I. Anyhow, thanks very much, David, and it's much appreciated for what you've done for my family and my father. And no doubt they'll be all interested back in Australia to view this video. So, okay, thank you very much.